to anything. But at the same point in time, the manager has to take control of the team. And if they're acting out, you got to stop them. But also the leaders on the team have to do it.
The question is, though, what do you go? Number one of the biggest problems was Lindor. Lindor is a bad person.
Yeah, probably.
But will the more established guy get more respect as opposed to the Louis Rojas, never managed before, finally gets his job, and all he's doing is he's the puppet. He's Pinocchio, and Geppetto is telling him what to do.
No, listen, I get it, but you'd love to see, and you're right, it should be a stronger manager, but you'd love to see the team leaders kind of step up and say, yo, we don't play that way here.
Right.
It's just not the way it happens.
Right. Go back
Somebody
to Cleveland.
that takes leadership in the locker room and the clubhouse, and it just seems like the Mets can never find that guy.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, they got plenty of time now. Now, speaking of the labor agreement, there's been no conversations.
Listen, because they're in no hurry. They know they have till early February to get this done for spring training. That's it. They don't care. They don't care about the fan. They don't care about any of this stuff.
This is going to get taken care of once we've lost 2 weeks of spring training, and we're going to start heading in towards the area we're going to lose some games. And then they'll come to an agreement. They'll push the games back a little bit, or they'll throw an extra game, double headers or whatever, and we'll go on with labor bliss, and then they'll fight about it again in a couple more years because the billionaires aren't making enough money.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
When you're right, you're right.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen for you often, but here I am saying it. You are correct. And for those of you, for both of you that don't know, it's Bill's birthday today.
Yeah. It's a fantastic birthday. Let
Absolutely.
me see.
If you could feel sorry for yourself a little bit more, that'd be fun.
The wife has the vid. The bigger boy has the vid. So me and the little one are trying to run away from everybody and trying to keep the dog away from everybody. I get to serve one of the vid people, whatever she needs. I got to get soup and shit like that, stuff like that. Jeffrey, 1708. You got to cut that out. So, it's been a great birthday. I really enjoyed it tremendously.
I was quarantined on my birthday as well. I get it. It's a real hoot.
You know what? It was the funny part was once my son got diagnosed, he got diagnosed on Monday. So I said to my wife, hey, we need to have some pre-COVID sex because once we get it, we're not going to be able to do it for a while. I was like, you know what? The birthday sex is coming up, so I'll be okay. Here I am all by myself with you.
Let love slip through your fingers once again. And here we are.
So,
and for those of you that enjoyed that repartee, now you get to hear about what we have to say about football. Woo!
Yes. We'll be here all week. It's just nobody else knows it.
Try the veal.
So anyway, football is a game.
It's a sport.
It's a sport. We are coming down. This is our last week in the regular season for our fantasy league.
Our league is actually very close and exciting. Now, I'm the 3 seed right now, and you're the 6.
I'm not happy.
If the season ended at this way, we would play each other in the first round. But at the same time, I can finish as high as 1. And I think you can finish as high as 3 or 4, right? You can get. I don't think you can get a bye because you're 2 games back, but you can get
2 games back.
I think you can get the 3rd if everything went right.
Yeah, so that way I'm the home team and I lose in the first round.
So and your son Nick is the 4 seed.
Yep.
So the way it worked in our league, the last game of the season, the 3 is playing the 2 and the 4 is playing the 1.
Right.
So if I win my game, I'm going to get a bye.
And if I win my game, I get in. If I lose my game,
you'd probably get in anyway, but there's a team that's about 50 points behind you that if he wins and has a monster week, he can pass you.
You know what's amazing? I've had weeks where I've had 78 points, and then I've had weeks where I had 204.
Yeah, no, it's a nutty year. I mean,
yeah,
it's been up and down all year long, and it's like I had won my game by Sunday at 4:00 this week. Mm-hmm. The week before, I couldn't get arrested. It's just one of those things where, I barely broke 100 a week before. And this week, not that I had a huge week, I had 155, but it was enough to win by about 45 points from the guy who's 5-8 and has the most points in the league. He goes up against people and gets beat. He had a bad week this week. he relies on the Cowboys a little bit, and he didn't get much out of Zeke or out of Dak.
Well, yeah, well, Zeke he's been playing hurt. He's probably a couple of weeks away from being 100%. But in this league, because you're still playing, you will never be 100%. So that's going to hurt. And actually, Pollard didn't practice today. So he might be something to look at. He might not get as much action, which means Zeke's going to have to play even more hurt. Yeah. And aren't they playing Washington this week?
It's a big game, actually. Washington's 2 back. I'm not saying that Washington is going to necessarily catch Dallas, but they do play him. Mm-hmm. And Washington's been one of the hotter teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Heineke tried to throw an interception on the last drive so that the Raiders would assault the game away, but the Raiders dropped it, and then he led them down the field for the winning field goal.
Right.
But they play hard, and they lost Logan Thomas for the season. So if you enjoyed your 3 games with Logan Thomas this year, you got him, and now he's out again, and he's done for the year.
Montez Sweat's out now. At least for 2.
I mean, he
might
COVID. Be back in another. He was injured, to an extent. Hopefully, he'll be back in another week or 2. It's going to be interesting to see that game, just because it's actually just a good football game. It's like no one thought anyone was going to catch Dallas. Now Philadelphia and Washington are both in the hunt. The New York Giants are the only team that are not.
You know what? Would Judge stop sitting there saying, I saw some good things today? Well, you know what? If you love the place kicker, then you saw some good things. Take away Graham Gano. The team sucked.
The thing, though, I mean, defensively for the most part, it always blows my mind watching a Tua game because you feel like he just floats the ball out there, but he gets it there. So it's obviously he does something. It's like watching Chad Pennington.
Right.
Can't break a pane of glass, but you know what? Given time, he's accurate, right?
Right.
But the Giant offense, I mean, Glennon, what do you average? About 4 yards in attempt, 3.5? I mean, everything's a check down.
Right, and everything was behind the guys, and that goes with the fact that he doesn't get a lot of time with the number one guys. But even the number one guys, Shepard still wasn't in. Tony was out again. Barkley's not doing squat. It's they're not.
They've worked 2 or 3 years in a row trying to upgrade this O line, and it hasn't happened. Right?
No,
they've worked the D line's okay. You know what? You see some things that it's okay.
Okay, they don't get enough pressure. That's the problem.
I'm not saying they're great. I'd say you rank them in that middle third, okay? They're somewhere between like 12 and 22 in the league. They're
22.
Not
great. Let's go 22.
I would say like 17, 18, but I'll give you that.
You don't sit through that.
So the Giants look promising. I root for the Jets.
The Jets.
It's just one of those things.
I got to tell you, Zach actually played okay.
Zach, he played okay. I mean, the thing is that he has the whole thing where he has no idea how to throw a touch. So a guy's 4 yards away and he whizzes it at him, and they can't hold on. And it's like, listen, I like I say it every week. The freaking arm talent line, stop. Mm-hmm. They all have arm talent. There's 32 of them that start in the league.
Right.
I need accuracy. I need a guy that knows when to scramble. I need a guy that knows
when to hold them.
The receivers are running. I need a guy that's accurate.
I need a guy who knows when to hold them and when to fold them.
Absolutely, Mr. Kenny Rogers.
I
mean, the thing is that, if you're a New York football fan, and we're talking about New York right now, but we'll talk about all the teams, it's impossible to feel confident in your quarterback play.
Yeah.
Neither team's O-line is great, but neither quarterback makes that play that you're like, you know what? This guy's got something a little special right now. I know Wilson's in his first year, but Jones is in his third. It's like, come on. Daniel, two good halves. I'll kill for that.
Daniel Jones, to me, he's going to be a really good backup quarterback.
Yeah, that's who he is.
So which doesn't help us. Now, actually, today I saw that Russell Wilson said he would waive his no trade clause for the Giants, the Broncos. There was one other team. I want to say it's.
You are all about this Russell Wilson thing.
Oh, he's better than what we got.
I'm not saying you are, but you're acting. I don't think Seattle's that quick to give up on the franchise.
I think he's gone.
Why? Because you're a Giant fan. That's why you think he's gone.
Well, you know what? Even if he doesn't come to the Giants.
Because you want him. That's why he's gone.
Listen, if you told me, we discussed this already, what did the Giants do with 2 first-round picks this year? Get 2 stud offensive linemen. Start right there. And I'd give Jones another year to see if he can,
you have 2 first-round picks. Are you willing to trade him for Russell Wilson? Because that's what it's going to take.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said I would still be willing to take those 2 stud linemen and see what he can do. See what happens, Maybe grab a guy in the 3rd round or something like that. Or maybe Mike White's available. Everybody knows he's a stud. So
he had that one good game.
You can go that route. But if you went the Russell Wilson route, I wouldn't be totally upset with that. I got to be honest with you. But
I honestly think you're giving up 2 number ones this year and probably a number one the year after.
Yeah.
I think you're giving up a lot.
Here's the problem. He still has to perform behind that same bad offensive line.
Now, he gets sacked more than any quarterback in the league. It's just Russell's thing. And he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world for the wins that do make up MetLife.
Yeah.
But he's a winner. Ciara comes to the games. It's a little upgrade over
right.
what we're seeing now. I mean,
we don't know what we're seeing. I don't know.
Listen, the guy's a winner. I would be stunned if somebody, truly gave as much as Seattle's going to ask for that kid.
Right. Well, I guess we'll find out in a few months.
I know that you're anxiously awaiting.
Anxiously, operators are standing by now.
Absolutely. So Thursday night, Pittsburgh, Minnesota. The game of the weekend, maybe what is that Pittsburgh-Baltimore game? Very exciting game. If anybody got to catch it. Baltimore going for 2, which was interesting. You figure they would tie it up. They're a better team, but they went for 2. He was open. Lamar didn't miss him by much, but he's just not that accurate a thrower.
No, he's not a great quarterback.
He's not a great quarterback. He's a great runner of the football.
Right.
And when they're behind, he's going to be in trouble because if he has to drop back all day, it's a real issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the scenario. But, now you get Minnesota, Pittsburgh in Minnesota. Vikings favorite at 5-7 over the 6-5-1 Steelers. So it's an interesting way to look at it, so to speak.
Thielen's out.
It's the Vikings are a 3-point choice right now.
Right.
So, I know they're home, but basically they're saying this is a pick'em game. One team above 500, one team just lost to the Lions.
Right.
and I don't know if you saw any of this Lion game. So Campbell goes for it on 4th and 1 from his own side of the field, maybe the 30, 33 yards, something like that. Mm-hmm. And they miss, right? They go for a pass with Goff, who holds on to the ball too long. And he gets stripped and, the whole thing, right? So he basically, they're up 2 points at the time or something like that, basically gives them the winning field goal. But Minnesota goes down there and then they put up the touchdown anyway. And Detroit now has to come down the field and score a touchdown. And Minnesota's defense on that last play, I don't get the teams that think that they have to play off coverage into the end zone to allow the guy to catch it in the front of the end zone. And that's what the Vikings did with their corners on that play. They all dropped back too deep. I didn't understand what they were doing. Force them out to throw it over your head. Don't let them throw it in front of you. It's a shorter pass. I didn't understand the play.
They were told not to let the guy get behind him, so they didn't.
Dan Campbell tried everything in his power to lose again, and yet somehow, somewhere they won, but you can't go for it on your own side of the field. Up. Yeah. You punt it. You just can't give them. You're up 2. You can't give them. I couldn't understand what they did. So but I'm happy for Detroit.
By the way, they had. I saw yesterday on Twitter on the Twitter.
Yes, young man.
The Jared Goff's girlfriend is a model. She was at a beach shoot, and they said, "Oh, they won the game," and she was like, number one, super shocked, but. Holy crow. What a rack. This was so incredible, dude. It's Jared Goff. It's not, it's not a stud quarterback. It's not Aaron Rodgers. It's Jared Goff.
When he was first pick of the draft, and that seemed like it was going to go a long way. Rams got to the playoffs a couple times. That's all that is.
My God, dude, she was so hot. Her rack was incredible. And you know what? I'm a loser traffic reporter, so maybe I have a chance at something like that.
No, but you know what? It's a good thought. I'm rooting for you. I really hope it works out. I just can't see it happening.
It gives you hope, though, and it's all you need.
Jared Goff. So, again, another poor quarterback. We got the Thursday night game, Pittsburgh and Minnesota.
We're going to talk football now.
We might as well. Not a lot of great defense in this game. And I don't believe Cook's going to play again. Yeah. I believe we'll see Madison again. Hopefully you have that handcuff. The guy I'm going up against does, unfortunately. I'd rather see Madison play against me than Cook anyway, normally. But hopefully Cook's scheduled to play, and then he only plays 3 downs. Yeah, I'm rooting for something bad to happen.
Right.
But, at the same time, the Vikings offense up and down. Thielen out